There's something about the beep of a scanner that marks time. Item after item. Beep, beep, beep. Each one a small transaction. Each one a moment in someone's day where they're choosing what to eat, what to need, what they can afford. The rhythm of it becomes a kind of meditation if you let it. A reminder that we're all just trying to fill our carts and our cupboards and the empty spaces in our lives with things that might sustain us. I've been working at Turner's Market for 6 years now. It's not a career. It's just a job. The kind you take when you're trying to figure out what comes next, and somehow 6 years go by and you're still scanning groceries and bagging bread and asking people if they found everything they needed. The store sits on the corner of Maple and 3rd. Small, family-owned. The kind of place that's been there for 40 years. Selling produce that's not quite as perfect as the big chains. Meat from local farms. Bread baked in the back. We know our regulars. Know their kids' names. Know who's getting married or divorced. We're dealing with a sick parent. It's not glamorous work, but there's something honest about it, something real. You see people at their most ordinary, tired after work, rushing before dinner, making hard choices between what they want and what they can afford. My name is Elena. I'm 32. This wasn't supposed to be my life. I was supposed to finish college, supposed to become a teacher, supposed to have a different story to tell. But my father got sick when I was 20. Cancer. The kind that eats through savings, faster than it eats through a body. I dropped out to help my mother, took a job at the market to pay bills, told myself it was temporary. He died 3 years later. By then, I'd become a full-time cashier. My mother had moved in with my sister, and I was living alone in a small apartment with a window that faced a brick wall and a job that kept me fed, but not much else. Sometimes I think about going back to school, finishing what I started, but the momentum is gone. The dream feels like it belonged to someone else, some younger, more hopeful version of myself that I can't quite remember being. So I scan groceries, make small talk, try to be kind to people who are also just trying to make it through another day. That's what I was doing last Tuesday when he came through my line. It was late afternoon. The post-work rush had passed. The store was quiet except for the hum of refrigerators and the soft music playing overhead. Something instrumental, forgettable. He was older, maybe 70, thin in that way that suggests meals have been skipped, not by choice. His jacket was worn but clean. His hands shook slightly as he placed items on the belt. A loaf of bread, a jar of peanut butter, a quart of milk, 3 cans of soup, 2 apples, a box of tea, the essentials. Nothing extra. Nothing that wasn't strictly necessary. I started scanning. Beep, beep, beep. The rhythm familiar and soothing. He watched each item get scanned like he was doing math in his head, calculating, making sure he had enough. When I got to the total, I read it out. $18.43. He pulled out his wallet. Old leather, cracked at the corners. Started counting out bills. Ones mostly. A few fives. Some change from his pocket. I watched him count. Watched him recount. Watched his face change as he realized what I'd already suspected. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I thought I had more. I must have miscounted at home." He started putting things back. The tea first, then one of the soup cans, then the apples. "Keep the bread and peanut butter," he said, "and the milk. I can do without the rest." Something twisted in my chest. I've seen this before. Seen people make these calculations. seen them choose between food and medicine, between eating and keeping the heat on, seen them smile apologetically, like their poverty is something to be ashamed of instead of something to be outraged about. But there was something else about him, something in the way he stood, very straight, very dignified, like he'd once been someone who didn't have to count out ones and put back soup cans. On his jacket, I noticed a pin, small, faded, a military insignia. Vietnam era, I thought, though I wasn't certain. "Are you a veteran?" I asked. He looked up, surprised. "Yes, ma'am, 46th Infantry. Long time ago now." I looked at his cart, at the bread and peanut butter and milk, at the soup cans he'd put back, at this man who'd served his country and was now standing in my line, unable to afford $18 worth of groceries. I made a decision. "The total is $12, I said. He blinked. "But you said veterans discount," I said, tapping buttons on my register that didn't actually do anything. 40% off, company policy. It wasn't company policy. We didn't have a veterans discount. But my drawer was balanced every night, and I knew how to make the numbers work. "I didn't know you offered that," he said. "New policy," I said. "Started last month. Let me put those items back." I reached for the soup cans and apples and tea he'd set aside, scanned them again, adjusted the total on my screen in a way that would come out of my paycheck later, but I didn't care. $12, I said again. He counted out his money. This time, it was enough. This time, he didn't have to choose. When I handed him his receipt, he looked at me for a long moment. His eyes were very blue, very clear, and very wet. "Thank you," he said. "You have no idea what this means." "Thank you for your service," I said, which is what you're supposed to say, though it never feels like enough. He took his bags and walked out slowly. I watched him through the window as he made his way down the street, watched him until he turned the corner and disappeared. My manager, Rita, came up to my register a few minutes later. "Did you just give that man a discount?" "Veterans discount," I said, not looking at her. "We don't have a veterans discount." "I think we should," I said. She looked at me. "Rita's been at the market for 20 years. She's tough but fair. She knows which rules matter and which ones don't." "How much?" she asked. $6. She sighed. "I'll take it out of your check." "I know." She started to walk away, then stopped. "You know most of these places, the big chains. They'd fire you for that." "I know," I said again. "Good thing we're not most places," she said. And then, so quietly, I almost didn't hear it. "Good thing we still remember how to be human." That was 4 days ago. I didn't think much about it after. Didn't expect to see him again. The city's big. People come and go. We're just faces to each other most of the time. But the next day, he came back. I was at my register scanning groceries for a woman buying ingredients for what looked like a dinner party. The door chimed. I looked up. He was standing there, the veteran, but he wasn't alone. There were maybe 15 people with him, all older, all with the same kind of bearing he had. Veterans, I realized. He'd brought other veterans. They spread out through the store, started shopping, quiet, organized, each one picking up items with the same careful calculation I'd seen the day before. Then they all came to my line, one after another, each with a small basket of essentials: bread, milk, canned goods. Nothing extravagant, nothing they didn't need. The first man came through. "Heard you offer a veteran's discount," he said. I looked at the man from yesterday. He was standing near the end of the line, watching me. He didn't smile, Didn't nod, just watched. Yes, I said. 40% off. That's mighty generous, the man said. I scanned his groceries, adjusted the total. He paid and moved on. The next veteran came through. Same routine, same discount, then the next, and the next. 15 veterans, each one thanking me, each one walking out with bags of food they needed. Rita appeared beside me, watched the line, watched what I was doing. Elena, she said quietly. I know, I said. This is going to be more than your paycheck can cover. I know. She was quiet for a moment. Then she went to her office, came back with the store owner, Mr. Turner himself. He's 78, still comes in most days, still believes the market should serve the neighborhood instead of just extracting money from it. He watched the last few veterans come through my line, watched me ring them up with my made-up discount. When the last one had left, he came over to my register. New policy, huh? He said. I'm sorry, I started. I'll pay for all of it. I just thought. He held up his hand. How much we talking about? Maybe $90 total, I said. He nodded, pulled out his wallet, counted out 5 20s, put them in my register drawer. Veterans discount is now official store policy, he said. 40% off, Tuesdays only. Spread the word. I stared at him. Sir? My father was a veteran, he said. Korea. Came home and couldn't find work for 2 years. We were poor as hell. I remember my mother crying in the kitchen because she had to choose between feeding us and paying the electric bill. He looked out the window at the street where the veterans had dispersed, carrying their bags of groceries. If we can't take care of the people who served, what the hell are we doing? What kind of country are we? He patted my shoulder. Good work, Elena. That's exactly what this place is supposed to be about. The next Tuesday, word had spread. 23 veterans came in. The Tuesday after that, 31. We had to put a sign in the window. Veterans, 40% discount every Tuesday. Thank you for your service. The man who started it all, I learned his name was Robert, came in every week, always bought the same things. Bread, peanut butter, milk, soup, apples, tea, always came to my line. We started talking. Small conversations while I scanned his groceries. He told me about Vietnam, about coming home and not being welcomed, about struggling to find work because people thought veterans were damaged or dangerous, about the friends he'd lost, both over there and after they came home. The war follows you, he said once. Even when you think you've left it behind, it's there in the nightmares, in the way loud noises make you flinch, in the faces of the friends who didn't make it that you still see sometimes when you close your eyes. I'm sorry, I said. Don't be sorry, he said. Just be what you are. Someone who sees people, who treats them like they matter. That's rarer than you think. One Tuesday, he asked about me. You been here long? 6 years, I said. That what you want to do? Work in a grocery store? The question stung a little. Not because he meant it to, but because it touched something I tried not to think about too often. No, I said honestly. I wanted to be a teacher, was in college. But my father got sick, and I had to drop out to help. You going back? Maybe someday. Someday's a dangerous word, he said. It's where dreams go to die. I didn't have an answer for that. The next Tuesday, he came in with an envelope, put it on the belt with his groceries. What's this? I asked. Open it later, he said. After your shift. I did. That evening, in my apartment with its window that faced a brick wall, I opened the envelope. Inside was a check, made out to me, for $5,000. My hands were shaking as I grabbed my phone, called the store, Got his number from Rita, who'd made him fill out a form for the Veterans Discount Program. He answered on the third ring. "I can't accept this," I said without preamble. "Why not?" His voice was calm, not surprised I'd called. "Because it's too much. Because I don't need charity. Because—" "It's not charity," he interrupted. "It's an investment." "In what?" "In you. In someone who looked at an old veteran who couldn't afford his groceries and decided to help, even though it would cost her. In someone who still believes people matter more than rules." "But $5,000 is what I saved over the last year by getting that discount you started," he said. "Well, most of it anyway. The rest is from some of the other guys. We all chipped in." I was crying now, couldn't help it. "There are conditions," he said. "What conditions?" "You use it for school, to go back, to finish what you started. And then you become the kind of teacher who sees students the way you see people in that grocery store, as human beings who matter, who deserve dignity and help, and someone who gives a damn." "I don't know if I can," I said. "You can," he said, "and you will. Because the world needs more people like you. People who still remember that we're supposed to take care of each other." That was 8 months ago. I registered for classes this fall. Night school, working around my shifts at the market. It's slow going. It'll take me 3 years to finish, but I'm doing it. Robert comes in every Tuesday, still buys the same things, still comes to my line. We talk about my classes, about history and literature, all the things I'm learning and remembering and discovering I've forgotten I love. Last week, he brought someone new with him, a younger veteran, maybe 40, looking lost in that particular way that people do when they're not sure where they belong anymore. "This is David," Robert said. "Just got back, having a hard time adjusting." David barely made eye contact, just nodded. "Welcome home," I said. "Thank you for your service." He mumbled something that might have been thanks. Robert put his arm around David's shoulders. "Elena here started something good," he told him. "Got about 60 of us coming in every Tuesday now. We get our groceries, get our discount. But more than that, we get each other. Get a place where we matter, where people see us as more than just old vets or damaged goods." He looked at me. "She reminded us that we're worth helping, that we deserve dignity, that someone still gives a damn." David looked at me then, really looked. And I saw something shift in his expression, something like hope trying to break through clouds. "40% off?" he asked quietly. "Every Tuesday," I said. "40% off, no questions asked. Just come in, get what you need. Know that you're welcome here." He bought a small basket of groceries, stood a little straighter when he left. Robert walked out with him, talking low and steady, the way veterans do with each other, translating the world for someone who's forgotten the language of home. I think about that first day a lot. About Robert standing at my register, counting out ones, putting back soup cans. About the decision I made to help. About how I thought it was just $6. Just one moment. Just one person. But it wasn't. It was the beginning of something bigger. A community. A weekly gathering. 60 veterans who know that every Tuesday they have a place where they're valued, where they're seen, where someone decided they matter enough to help. And it changed me too. Made me remember that I'm capable of more than just scanning groceries and collecting paychecks. That I have something to give. That my own deferred dreams are still worth pursuing. The money they gave me wasn't just for tuition, it was permission. Permission to believe that I matter too. that my story isn't over, that it's not too late to become the person I meant to be. I'm taking an education class right now, learning about teaching methods and child development, and how to reach students who don't think learning is for people like them. Yesterday, the professor asked us why we wanted to teach. I thought about Robert, about David, about all the veterans who come in every Tuesday, about the way small acts of kindness ripple outward in ways we can't predict or control. Because everyone deserves to be seen, I said, to have someone believe in them, to know that they matter enough for someone to invest in their future. The professor nodded. That's exactly right. That's what good teaching is, what all good human interaction is. Seeing people, helping them see themselves, creating spaces where dignity is the baseline instead of the exception. After class, she pulled me aside. There's a program, she said, Teach for Tomorrow. They offer additional scholarships for adult learners who show exceptional commitment to underserved communities. I think you should apply. So, I'm applying. Writing essays about grocery stores and veterans and the ways we save each other when we're brave enough to try. I don't know if I'll get it. Don't know if any of this will work out the way I hope. But I know that I'm trying, that I'm moving forward instead of just existing. And that feels like something. The market still stands on the corner of Maple and 3rd, still sells imperfect produce and local meat and bread baked in the back, still serves the neighborhood the way it has for 40 years. But now, every Tuesday, there's a line of veterans coming in for their discount, staying to talk to each other, creating community in the aisles between cereal and soup, reminding each other and everyone who sees them that service doesn't end when the uniform comes off, that we owe each other care and dignity and recognition. Mr. Turner put up a bigger sign outside the store where everyone can see it. Veterans discount, 40% off every Tuesday. Thank you for your service. You are seen. You are valued. You are home. People stop to read it. Some of them come in on Tuesdays just to be part of it. Older customers who want to thank a veteran personally. Younger people who want to understand what service means. Families teaching their children about gratitude and community, and the ways we're supposed to take care of each other. It's become more than a discount. It's become a statement, a declaration that this store, this small corner of the world, still believes in something beyond profit, still believes that how we treat people matters more than what we extract from them. Robert told me last week that 3 other stores in the neighborhood have started similar programs. That word is spreading, that the veterans he knows are starting to feel like maybe they do matter after all. That maybe coming home isn't just about surviving. It's about finding places and people who make you feel like you belong. You started something, he said, something bigger than you know. We started something, I corrected. You came back. You brought others. You gave me that money. We did this together. He smiled. That's how it works, isn't it? None of us can do it alone, but together we can make something beautiful out of all this brokenness. The evening is settling now. My shift ended an hour ago, but I stayed to restock shelves, to sweep floors, to prepare for tomorrow. The store is quiet, just the hum of refrigerators and the soft buzz of fluorescent lights. The music has stopped. I stand at the front window, looking out at Maple and 3rd. At the street where Robert walked away that first day, carrying his bread and peanut butter, and dignity I'd tried to preserve. At the corner where 60 veterans now gather every Tuesday, creating family from shared experience and mutual recognition. The window reflects my face back at me, 32 years old, still a cashier at a grocery store, still living in a small apartment, still not where I thought I'd be. But I'm also a student again, someone working towards something, someone who started something meaningful without meaning to, someone who learned that the smallest acts of kindness can grow into movements if we're brave enough to let them. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's the lesson. Not that we have to save everyone or solve everything or become someone completely different from who we are, but that we show up, we see people, we help when we can, we let ourselves be helped when we need it. We create spaces where dignity lives, where people matter, where the tired and poor and struggling can walk in and walk out a little lighter, a little more hopeful, a little more convinced that the world still has room for them. There's something healing in that conviction, don't you think? In learning that we're all just scanning groceries and counting change and trying to make it through another day. That we all need help sometimes. That we're all capable of giving it. The lights are dimming now. Time to lock up. Time to go home. But I'll be back tomorrow. Back to my register. Back to the beep of the scanner and the rhythm of small transactions. Back to seeing people, to treating them like they matter. Because they do. All of them. All of us. And sometimes, that's the most incredible thing we can give each other. Not money, or charity, or pity, but recognition, dignity. The simple, powerful acknowledgement that you are seen, you are valued, you are worth helping. That's what Robert gave me when he came back. When he gathered those veterans and said, "There's someone who sees us." And that's what I'll keep giving. One transaction at a time. One person at a time. One small act of kindness that might ripple into something bigger than I can imagine. The door is locked now. The lights are out. The store rests until morning. But the work continues. The seeing, the helping, the building of a world where we take care of each other, not because we have to, but because we remember that we're supposed to, that we're built for it, that it's what makes us human.